now. All right, so let's come to our mats. And because it is raining here, I'm set up facing you, so I don't get too wet. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing, but we're gonna start off in our easy pose. Actually, let me just get something real quick. So starting off in your easy pose with your legs crossed, crisscross applesauce. And I'm just gonna set my thing here with my phone. And by the way, this is a really good opportunity to be away from our phones. So if you haven't already, I would invite you to switch yours off, put it on airplane mode. So now we're just gonna bring our awareness into our body. So we're sitting in our easy pose, whatever that comfortable stance for you, posture for you. So we wanna lengthen our spine, but not be really rigid. And just soften your shoulders. And if you want to, if it's okay for you, you can close your eyes or just look at the ground in front of you. Soften your forehead, cheekbones, your jawbones. Notice any areas in your body where you might be carrying some tension. So maybe your neck, shoulders, your back. Just focus on that for a moment. And now pay attention to your breathing. So without changing it or controlling, just pay attention. So we want to breathe in and out through our nose. And as we do so, paying attention to the sensations as you breathe in, feeling it in your lungs and maybe even down into your belly, feeling your belly expanding. And then as you exhale, notice how your body comes back in. Maybe your belly button comes back toward your spine. So now let's take a deep breath, really filling everything down into your belly. And then as you exhale, completely empty out your lungs, your abdomen. Really empty everything out. And now we're going to take a deep breath in again. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then if you'd like, you can join me in setting an intention today for a practice around Satya, truthfulness, the yoga yama. But maybe the way that truthfulness shows up for us in our practice is in listening to our body, what it's telling us about what it wants more of, what it wants less of. And then noticing how that interacts with our thoughts, our self-talk. Maybe when we catch ourselves being distracted, our mind has wandered, we're not paying attention to our body or to our breath. Maybe simply noticing that in that moment, we're practicing truthfulness because we're saying, oops, I'm distracted. Hopefully you can hear all these tropical birds around me. Now let's take another deep breath. And exhale. And if you want to, if you closed your eyes before, you can allow them to open. We're gently going to shake our head yes. So really nice and slowly. We never want to force anything in yoga. And I'll shake our head no, so releasing any tension we might have in our neck. Okay, let's hold our head still here. We're just going to release a little bit in our neck. So bring your chin down toward your chest and hold it there. Again, as much as feels comfortable, we're not forcing anything. And then we're going to take our chin over to our right collarbone and just pause there. Feel that lengthening on the left side of your neck. And now bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Pause there. And now bring your right ear behind your right shoulder. So it's like you're emptying water out after a nice swim in the Caribbean water. Okay, I speak for myself right now. And now bring your head back. And then take your left ear behind your left shoulder. Left ear to left shoulder. Bring your left ear down to your left collarbone. And now bring your chin to the center, down to your chest. Take a moment to soften your shoulders. A lot of times we hunch them up here. And now let's do one more, this time the other direction. So you're bringing your chin to your left collarbone. And then left ear to left shoulder. Left ear behind the shoulder. Bring your head back, look up at that beautiful sky. Then your right ear behind your right shoulder. Right ear to right shoulder. Right ear in front of your shoulder. And now your chin to your chest. All right, let's bring our head back up. We'll do some shoulder circles. So loosening up our shoulders. And now go the opposite direction. And hold it still. All right, let's take a deep breath as we bring arms up. And then exhale, bending over to the right. And I'm smushed in here because of the rain, so do whatever you can do. If you want to, you can lower your right hand and bend over a little bit more and feel that lengthening on the left side of your torso. Now inhale, arms up. And now bend to the left. Inhale, arms up. And now exhale your hands behind your back, clasp them together and pull them up towards the sky. And if you want to, you can hinge forward from your hips, pulling your hands forward. Feel that lengthening in your shoulder, chest muscles, maybe your lower back, hips. Come back up, inhale your arms back up. And then exhale your palms forward, like you want to crack your knuckles, and if you want to, you can round out your back. And come back up. Okay, so from here, we're going to make our way onto all fours into our tabletop. So now your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your sit bones. Okay, so from here, we're going to do our cat-cows. As we inhale, we'll look up and pull our tailbone up, so we're arching our back. And then as we exhale, going the other way into cat pose, bring your chin to your chest, and round out your back. Inhale up into cow. Exhale down into cat. So let's do several more of these. Follow your own breath. Do it at your own rhythm. Notice as you're doing this, are you spending more time in your inhale, up in cow, or more time in your exhale, in cat? Do one more breath cycle. Okay, so let's stay here on all fours. We're going to come into our spinal balance. So raise your right arm parallel with the ground, and then your left leg, opposite arm to leg. If you're having a hard time balancing, chances are you're not doing opposite arm to leg. I see every time. All right, let's bring it down. Left arm, right leg. And your neck is neutral. You don't want to strain it, so don't be looking around, see what everyone else is doing. Bring it down. So now again, let's do it with our breath. So we'll inhale up, exhale down. Follow your breath. Here, you do one more on each side. And then stay here on all fours. We're going to take our right leg up with the knee bent and do wide circles. So we're opening up our hip here. And if you feel any clicking or cracking, don't be alarmed. That is totally normal. Let's go the other way. It's kind of like going to the chiropractor, getting adjusted. We're adjusting our hips here. Okay, let's bring that leg down, and now we'll do the same thing on the left. So wide circles. Still focusing on breathing. You might notice that your abs are starting to work a little here, your shoulders, opposite direction. And bring that down. Now let's shift our hips over to the right and look over your left arm. So notice how this feels in your lower back and your glutes. And let's go the other way. All right, come back up. So now we're going to shift forward into high plank on our knees. So you can move your hands forward, your knees back. So basically our shoulders are tracking over our wrists, but now our knees are behind our hips. So we're starting to work our upper body here. And whenever we do plank in class, you're always welcome to bring your knees down. Do what you need to do to honor your body today. Okay, no forcing things. So then for low plank, we're going to bend our elbows just to where they're in line with our ribs. So don't go any lower than that. That's a low plank. But from here, let's take it all the way down to the ground. And now press the tops of your feet into the ground. Turn your quads outward so you really engage your glutes here and your lower back. Lengthen your spine as you bring the crown of your head up to the sky into cobra. So we're working our back now. And then from here, we'll push up and sit back in our heels, extending arms forward into child's pose. So now we'll put all of that together for a mini flow. So let's inhale up and forward into high plank on our knees. Exhale, bend your elbows, low plank, all the way to the ground. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale, push up and back into child's pose. And let's do that one more time. So inhale up and forward into high plank. Exhale, bend your elbows to the floor. Inhale your chest up. And exhale up and back into child's pose. Let's pause here for maybe 3 breaths. Feel the extension in your upper back and your hips. Breathe. And then we'll slowly come back up into tabletop. So remember, if at any point during our session, you feel like you need a little bit of rest, a little bit of a break, child's pose is always a good one. All right, so we're in tabletop here. So now curl your toes under. All right, I'm gonna move around so you can see me. So curl your toes under, and then from here, pause here, feel that lengthening maybe in your toes and the arches of your feet. And then raise your knees up off the ground a couple of inches. So feel that down in your toes and the arch, down by your Achilles. And then we're gonna take our hips up to the sky into downward dog. So downward dog, we're gonna walk our dog. So bend one knee at a time. And feel that stretch down in your calves, your Achilles. Maybe moving with your breath. And now let's hold our dog still. We bend both knees. Once again, your shins are parallel with the ground. And then slowly walk your feet forward, coming into forward fold. Okay, so as you're looking down at your feet here, notice where they are. If they're touching, if they're really close together, they're probably too close together. So see if you can move them out, or if they're too wide, move them to where they're under your sit bones, which are not your hips, by the way. They're, I'll show you later. But just find your good position there for forward fold. And if you want to, you can bend your knees. Okay, so yoga is not about touching your toes. It's about reaching for your toes, seeing what happens on the way down. So if you can't touch your toes, that does not matter. Irrelevant. Okay, so from here, we're going to bring our hands up to our shins and lengthen our spine. So we're in our half lift. So when you're in forward fold, your back is rounded. When you're in your half lift, your spine is lengthened. I don't say straight because the spine is never straight. Okay, back down into forward fold. And now slowly come all the way up, but again, with that nice long spine, you're not rounding out your back. Reach up. And now reach back. So it's a little bit of a back bend. Open up your arms, your heart. Take a couple breaths of that beautiful fresh air. Come back up. Bring your palms together through heart center, down into forward fold. And now we'll step one foot back and then the other. So we're coming into high plank. So the top of a push-up. So remember what I said earlier. If you prefer to bring your knees to the floor, please do. Again, let's be honest with ourselves. What feels most compassionate for my body today? Or maybe my shoulders, my abs, back, everything really wants a little bit more of a challenge, which is great too. One more breath here. And let's come into downward dog. Okay, so bend both knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. And now let's put it all together for a sun salutation or flow. So we'll inhale our hands to our shins and to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to that reverse swan dive, nice long spine. Exhale your hands back down into forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank. Bring your knees down if you wish. And now we'll shift our body forward a couple of inches. Bend your elbows. So you're in low plank. Bring it all the way down to the mat. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale onto your knees, so into tabletop, and then into downward dog. Okay, so let's do that one more time. So bend your knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. And now moving with our breath. And if you want to go faster or slower, it's totally up to you. Follow your own breath. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank. Shift forward, exhale, low plank, all the way to the mat. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. So back here in downward dog, press your sit bones up to the sky. Notice how that lengthens your spine. Take a couple breaths here. And now let's take our right leg up to the sky into downward dog split or three-legged dog. Really reach up. And now we'll bring that leg forward. So we're placing our right foot between our hands. So we're in a lunge. So from here, we're going to turn our back foot. So replacing the pad of your left foot with your heel. And then bring your body up. Okay, so right now we're in warrior one. So if you look down at your feet, especially your back foot, there should be a little bit of a space, almost like you're on a railroad track. So you don't want your back foot to be to the right or too much of a gap. So just figure out what's right for your body. And your hips are sort of pointed toward the front of your mat, the short end of your mat. Your right leg is bent. Now let's reach arms up and back. So really slight back bend. Feel the opening in the left side of your hip. And come back up. You're going to reach down, once again coming into a lunge. And then bring your right foot back into high plank. If you want to, you can drop your knees here. You're going to shift your body forward, down into low plank, and then back up. So yes, a push-up and into downward dog. Let's take our left leg up now. And now bring that forward, placing your left foot between your hands, lunge. So now pivot your back foot so that the ball of the foot is replaced by the heel. And then bring your body up into warrior one. And when we're in these warrior poses, we really want to notice the strength in our body here, pressing into the ground through our feet. It's like we want to rip our mat in two. I know it sounds violent. We're not practicing violence. So reach up. If you're going to be violent, that is a good way to do it. And stretch back. Breathe. Come back up. Reach your hands down on either side of your foot so you're coming into that lunge, and then step your left foot back to meet the right in high plank. Drop your knees if you prefer. We're going to shift forward, bend your elbows, low plank, back up, and downward dog. Let's take our right leg up. And now bring it forward, once again into a lunge. And so we're going to bring our body up. If you're on an uneven surface, such as, I know you might be on grass or carpet, any of these balancing poses might be a little bit challenging. So do your best. If you need to hold on to the person next to you, go for it. Okay, so we're in a high lunge here, reaching your arms up. If you prefer to bring your hands to your head, you can. And just pause here and notice the stretch going on the left side by your hip. Okay, now you're going to press through your front foot and leg and come back, come up. So straightening that front leg somewhat, but not locking it, and then come back down. Again, come up. Down. If you want to, you can notice your breathing. Inhale up, exhale down. We're going to do two more of these. Really pressing through your front foot as you come up. And last one. Okay, let's reach down now. We're going to step our front foot back to meet the left foot into high plank. And then at this point, you can either do a side plank or a modified side plank. So side plank, we're turning to the right and stacking our legs. Our arm is up. I would turn, but the floor is wet and I'm just gonna wipe out. So you can do this, or you can drop your left knee and do modified side plank. So do whatever is right for you today. We're gonna do one more breath here. And now come back into high plank. Drop your knees if you want. This is hard on our shoulders. We're gonna shift forward, low plank, high plank, and downward dog. Let's take our left leg up. And now we're gonna bring that forward. So we're coming into a lunge here. Hope you guys are warming up over there. All right, you're gonna bring your body back up into a lunge. Crescent warrior. Let's press through that front leg, come up, down. 4 more of these. Noticing your breathing. Appreciating your strength, your balance. Okay, let's reach down now. Step your left foot back to meet the right into high plank. And then same thing here, our side plank. So turn to the left and then either drop your right knee or stack your legs. Do whatever feels best for your shoulders, your back, core, and bring that arm down. Okay, so again, if you want to drop your knees, we're going to shift forward, down, up, and into downward dog. Okay, let's shift our body forward into high plank, and now we're going to take it onto our forearms. Don't worry, we are almost at nap time. Well, a little one. All right, so forearm plank. Breathe. Drop your knees if you need to. It's all about whatever is proper form for you. We're going to do 3 more breaths here. We can do anything for 3 breaths. I breathe very slowly. All right, let's bring it all the way down. All right, I told you there would be a nap time. All right, so just a few breaths here. We've earned it. All right, so from here, we're going to take our right heel into our sit bone. So hopefully this feels really good on your right quad. Lengthening your quad. So you can leave it at that, or, and that's, whenever I say that, you know it's going to get good. Bring your left hand over by your face. Raise your right leg, so the bent leg, raise that off the floor. Raise your left arm in your chest. So we're working our back now. And breathe. Keep a nice neutral neck. And release. Let's bring our left heel in now. So again, if you want to, just hang out there. Be honest with yourself. What do you want to do? You are the boss of you. Or raise your left leg, your right arm, your chest. Work your back and breathe. And release. Let's bring our hands over by our upper ribs. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Rotate your quads outward. Lengthen through your spine as you bring the crown of your head up into cobra. And pause here and breathe. Okay, let's push up more now and seal. And then come back into child's pose. And if you want to here, you can shift your hips around, rock them around, whatever feels good on your back. We just gave our back a really good workout. So hope it feel a little more relaxed now. Okay, let's come on up onto all fours. Curl your toes under, raise your knees off the floor, and come up into downward dog. Let's take our right leg up and bring it forward, placing your right foot between your hands, once again in a lunge. And now we're going to come into our runner's twist. So we're going to turn to the right, turn into the front leg, raise your right arm, and breathe. Whenever we're in a twist like this, it's like a detox pose because every time we exhale, we're actually helping our digestive system get rid of what it doesn't need. All right, let's bring that arm down. Come onto your back knee, bring your body up. Bring your palms together, point your fingers up, and lengthen back. And come back up. Okay, so we're going to move our foot out to the outside of the mat. And now bring your hands to the inside of your foot. So, I guess I'll turn around for a second. So basically, your body is toward the front, right? So you're feeling that lengthening in your hip and your whole groin area. And then from here we go, another extra bonus. We come onto our forearms, we lengthen it even more, but it depends on how we're built. If you can't do this, it doesn't mean you're lesser of a human being. It just means you're not built this way. This is called lizard pose. You're not built like a lizard, it's okay. And then if you really want to, you can actually bring your back knee off the mat and make it a bit of a more active pose. All right, let's come on up. So now we're going to shift our right leg into pigeon by folding it in front of us. So our right leg is folded in front of us. Our back leg, which you cannot see right now, let's see if I can shift, is extended behind us. Okay, so, and our balance is in the center. In other words, we're not collapsing into the right cheek. So from here, this is where it really gets good, is you can fold forward and just relax. Find a place, your happy place, wherever that is. And not only maybe feel a little bit more relaxed mentally, but also notice what's going on in your IT band, your glutes, your back. And then slowly come on up. So bring that leg back, come back onto all fours. And if you didn't feel like that pigeon was long enough, feel free to do that again before bedtime because I swear it helps you sleep. All right, so curl your toes under, bring your knees up, and once again, bring your hips up into downward dog. And now let's take our left leg up and bring it forward, placing your left foot between your hands, lunge, and then twist to the left and breathe. And bring that arm down. Let's come onto our back knee, palms together, point your fingers up, and stretch back. Come back up. Okay, let's move our foot out to the outside of the mat. Bring your hands to the inside of your foot. So again, we're setting ourselves up for that weird lizard pose. Okay, so from here, if you want to, so you can come down onto your forearms. I was gonna say this is, I don't think any of us have yoga blocks right now, but this is like, as I'm recording this, but this is where we put them under our arms if we wanted to. Bring the ground up to meet us, extra support. And remember, if you want to, you can bring your back knee off the mat too. And bring it down. So let's bring our body up. Shift your leg into pigeons. So fold it in front of you. Back leg is extended out. And then when you're ready, you can fold forward and once again, find that happy place. So the happy place is not a place where we zone out and check out. It's more getting to that edge of engagement so we can feel it physically, like, ooh, that feels good. I'm lengthening my IT band or whatever. But not to the point where we become complacent, we don't notice it anymore. So just find that edge and breathe. All right, let's come back up, and remember, you can do that later at your leisure. Okay, so let's bring our feet around. So our feet are flat on the floor, our knees are bent. We're gonna reach our arms forward and then come back just to where you feel your abs engaging. And right then, notice, are you breathing? Because so many times when we're working our abs, we forget to breathe, we hold our breath, and that is like the last thing we should be doing. So let's breathe. And remember, through your nose, especially during allergy season, you want to be breathing through your nose. Come back a little bit more if you want. If you're starting to shake like a leaf, that's good. That means you're alive. All right, let's come onto our backs. Bring your knees in, give yourselves a hug. You can roll around on your back if you want. Okay, bring your feet down, and we're gonna do one more strength move, bridge. So bring your hips up. And without actually touching your knees to each other, press them toward each other, like you had something there, like a ball or something that you don't want to drop. And breathe. Feel the power in your legs, glutes, your back. And release. Okay, so let's bring our right foot onto our left leg. Gently pull your knees in toward your chest. And then roll to the left. So you're rolling onto your left elbow. Bring your knees in a little bit more and feel that nice little stretch in your right IT band, hamstring, glute. Let's come back to the center, switch legs. And now roll to the left, or right, I mean.
Done.
Okay, come back to the center. Bring your feet flat on the floor. And now bring the soles of your feet together. Release your knees to the ground, like a lying down butterfly. Notice how this feels in your body. As I've said before, it's a very relaxing pose. Another great one to do at bedtime. Let's extend our legs out now, so straightening them out. As you reach your arms up to the sky, take a deep breath and then extend your arms overhead. Pause here for a couple breaths. Feel how your whole body is extended. Everything stretching out. And then on your next inhale, raise your arms back up to the sky. And as you exhale, gently lower your arms by your sides. If you wish, you can close your eyes if you haven't already done so. We're going to take a few moments of Shavasana now. So see if every time you exhale, you can feel your body releasing, sinking further into your mat, into the ground. Start to notice your breathing, your breath. Again, without changing it or controlling it. Simply pay attention to it. When your mind starts to wander, which it will do, in that moment you can choose, do I want to continue with the story? Or maybe I'll bring my focus back to my breath. And then slowly wiggle your fingers, your feet. And when you're ready, make your way back up into your easy pose, still with your eyes closed or looking down at the ground in front of you. Soften your forehead, cheekbones, your jawbones, your shoulders. Lengthen your spine a little bit more. And now let's bring our palms together at heart center and take a moment to thank our body for waking up today, for showing up for us in all of its strength, power, health, resilience, wisdom, and its beauty inside and out. And if you'd like to, you can join me in setting an intention for the rest of the day or week or however long, based on the intention that we set for our practice today of Satya, truthfulness. How can we best bring this off the mat and into our life? Again, noticing our self-talk, or even noticing the way we interact with the world around us, with other people. And it doesn't mean that we need to immediately make all kinds of changes. Simply paying attention and noticing is all that's required of us. And always with curiosity and compassion. Letting go of judgment. So now let's take a deep breath. And as we exhale, we can bow forward. Peace. All right. And I'm going to